Okay, welcome back. It took me a little while to sort some of this out, but I think I have it all in order, and I'll do a quick run through of where we're at. So let's start with us. This cost 160 bucks. This was very expensive, but I think it'll pay for itself. What I did was I set aside $180 so we can start a premium company. I want at least one premium company. It starts at $90 a share, blah, blah, blah. Then I have $130 and $130 for two $65 companies. So my goal is to own 3 companies. Now, why did I come up with that? The biggest reason is this is a 6-player game. And as you know, in a 6-player game, there's going to be 30 companies and 12 of them are minors. So everybody's going to get, if everybody bought the same exact number of companies each, there would be 2 minors per player and 3 majors per player, okay? Or regionals in this case. They'll become majors later. So I have my 2 minors, so I'm following the statistics to perfection. And so I'm planning on 3 regionals. So I'm gonna have my 3 and my 2, okay? Now, one thing about this game is if you can somehow pull off 4 regionals, remember there's a cert limit. So in a 6-player game, that cert limit is 24, meaning that I can only have 24 certificates or shares of stock. But some certificates actually have a 2 written on them. And so that means that certificate is worth 2 shares. That still only counts as 1 certificate for purposes of counting. Now, the only shares in the game that have 2s written on them are the president's share. So you get those, obviously, if you're the president of a company. If I wanted to not have a premium company at 180, I could try to finagle it so I can get 4 companies. Now, why would I do that? One of the reasons is so I can have that 4th president's share, which means I'm going to own 2 shares for the same number of certificates as somebody else who only owns 1 share. So the more companies you own, the more 2 shares you're going to possess, and therefore you actually get an advantage at the end of the game. Now, the drawback to that, of course, is if you expend all your money in 4 companies, well, how are you going to invest in those 4 companies? I mean, one of them is going to be ignored for a while. You just don't have enough money to invest in all 4 companies at the same time. So there is a strategy that one of my friends employs where he only invests in 1 at a time, and it's pretty interesting. But anyways, I'll see if I can try to get one of these AI players to do that. Okay, moving on. Let's start from the bottom here. We got Trump. Trump has 400 and some change left. It's not an awful lot of money, but he did have some pretty expensive minors. That was 140 plus 40. That was $180 worth of minors. And he has, privates. And then he has 2 minors. And I think everybody except for Wellington put it at the bare minimum 120 bucks. Remember in this game, if you can't afford to buy a train, you can do what's called a forced train purchase, and you can use your private cash. And in the first round, that's 100% within the rules in the first round. So some strategy that players do is they just put the 120 in, and if they start playing and realize they needed actually 130, they just take another 10 bucks out of their private money. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you played the rules to the letter, it works out that once you get to the forced train purchase phase, you would be forced to take money out of your private money to pay for that $100 train, and it would all work out. Now, some players like to just put 180 bucks in it, and then they take their first turn, and then whatever's left over, they actually take back out. We let them do that too, because it's all just easy math. Rather than sitting there and trying to crunch everything, we just let people do easy math, okay? If that made no sense, just ask me. I'll try to explain it in another way. If you'll notice, I put the bare minimum 120 on this one, but I put the full 180 in this one. And by the way, 180 is the full amount. So I put it in here. You might be asking why. Largely because you want them to be able to afford a 3 train. And if I put 180 in there, it'll be closer to a 3 train than if I only start at 120. Now this one, I'm not as concerned about because he has extra bonus revenue because of these tokens. So I think he can catch up. Now, I had to do that. I wanted to put 180 in both of them, but then I would have to take away from my 3 companies. And so that's some of the give and take in this game, is you have to decide what you will or won't do. Now, the only one out here who did that was Wellington, because remember, he wants premium everything. So he's putting premium in his company. Okay, with that being said, Trump has 400 and change. De Gaulle is in a great spot. He has 500 and change. Okay, Wellington has 500 and change, which is amazing that he has 500 and change, but he does. Wellington only took 1 minor, and that's what allowed him to do that, whereas de Gaulle took 3 minors. And he didn't take any privates, as you can see. There was nothing that cost him money outside of the 3 minors. So he actually has some good money. So does Wellington. And I already have the stacks of money set up, so Wellington can buy 2 premium companies. And then he'll have enough for maybe a third not so premium company. But, you know, he wants excellence in everything he does, but sometimes even he has to make concessions. Now, Medici is the one who wanted to spend the least amount, and I think he pulled it off. He has $700. And that's pretty normal for his strategy. But I think this game is going to punish him a little bit because it expects everybody to do something, but we'll get to that later. And then lastly, Tchaikovsky got hammered. He got $400 and change, and his strategy is faltering. I think Mr. Russia, who I think ended the last series in second place, is already off to a bad start. So we'll see if he can catch it back up. Okay, now turn order for the first 10 turns is just whoever bought the turn order certificate. So we're going to go through those, and then we're going to, after that, it goes in the turn order based on this, and I just have it based on the index cards. So we're going to do that, and we're going to get rocking and rolling. This phase is going to take a bit, largely because I don't know, and I haven't sorted out off camera who's going to buy what. So we're going to talk through that together, and we're going to see how this game plays out. I'm just letting you know my strategy is I'm going to try the Austria-Hungary strategy. It's something I've rarely done in any of my games. I don't like Austria-Hungary very much, and I told you that last time, and then I ended up sort of liking them after we played this game. So I'm going to try it. I usually always end up in England, Norway, or Spain. Those are my 3 hot zones, and I play very well in all 3 of those zones. I've found that Spain has some limitations unless you play a specific way. England, I do fantastic in England, whereas other people struggle. I don't know why they struggle, but England just mentally works for me. You just have to think long game in England, and that's the thing. Norway is a fantastic place, and I can't remember who had the Norway stuff in the last game, but I do remember they did extremely well. What I'm going to shoot for is Austria-Hungary and Germany. Now, Germany, for me, is one of those problem children. I have never seen anybody play in Germany and actually do well. And I think it's just because it costs so much to be in Germany, and then there's nowhere to run your trains to that's lucrative. Whereas, you know, you got metropolis after metropolis over here you can even hit New York. Whereas if you're in Berlin, you got to go all the way down to Constantinople to find the next big city. So it's just that kind of idea. But when you start in Austria-Hungary, you are going to have track that goes up towards Berlin. And so it does thematically and mechanically make sense to have Germany and Austria-Hungary merge together in a way. Now, there is one German company, POB, and he works very well with the Russia strategy. So I'm going to put my camera down, and I know it's just staring here at Italy, and let's tilt it a little bit more here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the who goes first, and then we'll go from there. So I'm looking over here, who's going first, and it's Tchaikovsky, no surprise. So this is under Tchaikovsky. So Tchaikovsky's going first, and he, of course, just to reevaluate, he has 3 minors he needs to deal with. He is the red token, and he, of course, is going to take something in Russia. There's no doubt about that. But what is he going to take in Russia is the key question. And I think for his purposes, I don't know. I never know which one in Russia is the best to take. I personally like MSP because they start in St. Petersburg, which is one of the key cities you need. I think MKV is probably the best of the four, but MSP is the, I like MSP. The problem with MSP is you need to give it a lot of help in the beginning of the game, or otherwise it's really a very poor performing company at the start of the game. But I know how to give it help. I'm very darn good at giving it help, and I've played MSP many times. The trick is Tchaikovsky has to get like a miner in Norway to help out MSP. That's the trick. Tchaikovsky's going to take MSP. So we're going to grab MSP here and we'll put it down like so. And we're going to put one of his tokens on MSP to show that he owns MSP. And then I just gotta, I do have to get up for this stage of the game because we have all these yellow crates over here and one of them is MSP. So we're gonna grab MSP, we're gonna get out one token, and then we're gonna put it on the board just as a reminder that somebody already took MSP. And then we gotta come over here and find MSP out of all this nonsense. And here's one here. And it's going to start there. And then we have to figure out for what price. And I'm going to figure that out later. Once everybody has drawn their companies, well, no, I guess I need to figure it out now. So let's figure that out. Okay, so I'm going to grab Tchaikovsky's money. This is what he's got. Let's move the camera here. Okay, so he probably wants to start at least 3 companies, if not all 4 Russian companies. The challenge he has is none of them can be at a premium because, as you can see, he's low in money. The par prices for stock are here. So 90 is the premium, 70, 65, 80, and 60 is the cheapest you can go. So let's say he wanted to start 4 $60 companies. Well, then he has to buy 2 shares because a president share is worth 2. So it'd be $120 for each company. And there's 20 and there's 20. He has exactly enough. So this is the strange part about this game is, does he want to do that? Starting at $60 a share is very low. It's not to say that it's not going to work, but it just means that his shares are not going to be worth as much at the end of the game. But remember, Russia's strategy is about making money, cash. And if you remember in the last series we did, that was how he almost caught us, was through his cash. It was not through his share value. But his share value can still do very well. He just has to go major early. He can't dilly-dally on the going major part. Now here's the part about Russia. If he goes major early, he gets more track points. Because if you remember, a regional gets 3 track points, a major will get 6 track points. So he'll get double the track points early in the game. And that's what he wants to do anyways. So if I were him, I would be very disappointed that I might have to start 4 companies at 120. In fact, I would consider only starting 3 companies and taking this $120 and adding it to those 3, because if I can bump this up to 180, that's $60 of this, right? I can take 2 of these at 180, right? And then one of them at 60, and basically take this $120 and invest it into those 3. That is what I would do. Part of the reason I'm doing this video, as I've explained before, is I'm experimenting. I want to see if this strategy would work. And I already explained to you that he's going to get an extra president share if he owns 4 companies. I'm also aware that Medici's not going to buy as many companies. So we're going to try it. It may not work, but let's try it. Let's see how it plays out. So he's going to start at $60 a share. And I'm going to take this 120 bucks and put it on Moscow. And just as a reminder, the track rights for Moscow is $10, so he has to pay $10 to the bank right away. So Tchaikovsky is going to try to start 4 majors and 3 minors. That is insane, but owning 7 companies should get him some good money. Let's try it. Again, this is something I would never do, but in an experiment like this, I'm curious to see if it plays out. So we're going to come over to here. And MSP is starting at $60 a share. Okay, next, player 2. I'm looking to see who's second, and it's Mr. Wellington. All right, Mr. Wellington should be no shock to you at all, is going to take GWR, which is the British company, right here. So no shock at all. GWR is being taken by Mr. Wellington, and he's going to start it at 120 bucks a share, or I'm sorry, at $90, which means he's going to need $80. Hold on. 50, 80, and then 20 bucks goes back in his. All right, so here's $180. Now the track rights for Britain is $40. So we have to take $40 out right away. So I'm going to just take this 50, give him back a 10. Okay, and then I need to go find the case for it. There it is, and I'm just going to lay it there for now. And let's take one of these out, put it on the board to denote that he's starting there. And I'm grabbing the camera, so we're going to swing around, find GWR. He's going to go second, and he's going to start at $90 a share. Okay, so that was a no-brainer. Mr. Wellington is all about the England. Okay, third. Let's figure out who is the third player. I'm looking and I don't see it offhand. Oh, it's Tchaikovsky. So Tchaikovsky is going to go next with the third player, and he's going to take MKV. So we're going to continue the Russia theme and take MKV. So we're going to do $120 a share. It's a $10 track right, so that's going to go to the bank. So $110 is going to MKV. And let's just grab MKVs. Where are you? It's upside down here. So let's grab one of their tokens. We'll put this on. Oh, and before I forget, Wellington is blue. And Tchaikovsky is red. Let's make sure that they get claimed. Okay, so coming around, MKB there, and MKV is also starting at $60 a share. Sorry for the glare, but all right, so let's figure out who is number 4. It's, by the way, going to be Wellington. I already see it. And Wellington's going to be grabbing lawnmower, which is also in England. Surprise, surprise. So lawnmower's coming out. We're going to grab Wellington's token and put it on. Lawnmower is starting for $180 a share. Here's $180. I'm going to be taking this 50 out because it's a $40 track right. So $180 minus 40, and that's going on to lawnmower. And gotta get the fourth concession token out. All right, so lawnmower's there. So let's do the same thing. So if everything goes as planned, this will be the last time I have to get up and move around. Or the last phase. Obviously going to be doing it a lot during this phase. So you can see 2 of Britain is already taken. No surprise there. Lawnmower is going to start 4th and is also a premium $90. So Wellington is on his way. Wellington's strategy is solid. And I'm saying that because I play that strategy a lot. Having both of those companies is amazing. The one thing I'll tell you I've learned when you do this, though, is you got to save your money. Wellington bought this for $120, and I never would have. I would have saved this $120, so that way I could buy more shares of my premium companies. If you're going to go the all England strategy like this, you need to be able to invest in your companies so that way you can get money in it quick. And what you're going to find is that Wellington is going to do great at the end game, but in the early game, he's going to struggle. And it's my belief that the early game is more important than the end game, but you'll see how it plays out. And I like trying it because this is something I always want to do, what Wellington's doing. It's just, I want to see how it plays out. Again, experiments. All right, so we're done with that. So now let's figure out who the 5th player is, and that is Mr. De Gaulle. So Mr. De Gaulle is finally entering the scene, and surprise, surprise, guess what he's taken? Plum. So let's get that done. I'm putting his token on, and De Gaulle is going to start it at $180 a share. It is a $20 track right. So I'm going to just put this 100 in and grab $80 back. Well, hold on. So let me just get the change. 50. All right. So there's $180, but this 20 goes actually to De Gaulle's bank, and only 160 is going into the company. Technically speaking, the company would have 180, but it had to pay a $20 track rate. So De Gaulle's going to get his $20 back. And yes, De Gaulle is starting it at a premium. That is very important for if you're doing the OE run early, you want it to be a premium. You want it to be worth gangbusters. And if he does his strategy right, Plum will be worth more than any other company at the end of the game. Okay, so Plum goes there. We come over here and like so. All right, so now you might be wondering, well, if Plum's going to be worth more than any other company at the end of the game, why wouldn't Wellington do that strategy? The stock value is going to be worth more than any other company, but the cash is not. So these English companies are going to make a lot more cash. So hopefully you'll see that play out. Player 6. It's Troikovsky again. So we're going to grab another $120. So this is where it gets interesting. From a Russian perspective, he has Warsaw and Lizard. Okay? Owning all the companies in Russia is not bad. But one thing I've seen people do, especially because if you look at Warsaw, see Warsaw's way over here on the left? What if he also owned Pob, which is right there? See how Pob starts there and Warsaw starts there? So he can connect Poland to Berlin. You see how that works? And so he can actually get a really nice run going by doing that. Another thing he can do is take DSJ, which is right there in Norway, and by doing that, he now has Norway connecting to Russia in its own way. So there's some seriously good advantage to taking something that's not in Russia, but it supports Russia, if that makes any sense. I don't know. The dilemma on this is hard. I know that Trump will make agreements with Russia, right? That's how our AI strategy is. And of course, that's tongue-in-cheek with some of the political accusations that are being made against him. Please don't be offended. I'm just doing all this for comical reasons. It is very tongue-in-cheek, of course. I don't know if Trump is going to get around to actually owning a company in Russia because Tchaikovsky is so Russia eager, beaver, if you will. But that's the dilemma. Now, Lizard starts. So follow my finger. This is our choice. We can take Warsaw here, which is a Y city. That's a good money city. But if you'll notice, there's nothing around it that's easy to connect to. But Lizard is way up there. See that little purple circle? Now, it does have 2 connections it can make that'll get it some immediate money, but all of them are crap cities. And what I mean by crap cities, they're the lowest revenue possible. So what you want to do with Lizard is you want to get connected to MKV right away or to Moscow right away, because where he starts is not very lucrative. And in fact, it's a very poor place to start. So between the two, Warsaw is obviously a higher revenue city, but Warsaw has the challenge of nowhere to go. Remember, before mergers happen, you're not allowed to leave the boundaries of your country. So Warsaw can't go left. That's the reason why you need to own POB or something over there so you can connect the two. Now, if I did take Warsaw, they need to connect over here to MKV. And you can see that we have to go through at least one $30 spot to get through, but it's doable. So those are our challenges before us here. And I think to stick with the AI theme of Tchaikovsky, we're gonna go with Lizard. So we'll start Lizard and see where that takes us. And that's gonna be 120 bucks with $10 going to the bank. And just bear with me, I'm off camera here getting things situated. So there you go, there's Lizard. And I'll grab the camera here. And once again, we're at $60 a share. Okay, so coming back around, it's the 7th player's turn. Whoever has the 7th player, oh, that is us. Hey, we get to go. We have some amazing choices. The fact that all the Russian companies were taken, I can tell you Lizard is not a premium company. Okay, so from my perspective, what are the best ones available? By far, Chin is near the top. DSJ, the Norway company, is an amazing company. It's even more amazing if you can get access into Britain, which right now is a little sealed off from us. But remember, we're doing the Austrian-Hungary strategy, so what works best for us? And to me, there's an overwhelming choice, and that's BHB. We're gonna go into Germany and take BHB. So that's gonna be our choice, and we're going to do it for 180 bucks, but there's a $40 track rights fee, which is brutal. So what is that now? 125, 35, 140 is going to be in BHB. So off camera, I'm just gonna grab some stuff here. Okay, so BHB, just as a refresher, is Hamburg, Germany. And the reason it's so wonderful is it has a port here. So it's in this C zone, which is very close to being able to do London runs. So you can hop right into England from there. And it can also interact with Norway. And it also has a C zone. Oh, let me check. Okay, it only has one C zone here, but still, it's not very far. It can connect to Norway, or one more, it can connect to London. It's a very wonderful way to do a London Constantinople run through Hamburg, and of course, it starts right next to Berlin. It's a good place to be. So I can get a Berlin to London run without being blocked by anybody, and that's the value of BHB. It's probably the best German one for me in my way of playing, strategy of playing. I've seen people do wonderful things with other German companies, but they have to do something different than what I did. Okay, so we come back, and I think we're on the 8th player turn. This one was mine. Number 8 is Medici. So he's a no-brainer. He's going to start one of the Italian companies. So he's going to do SFR. Now, the bigger question is what's he going to set it at? Is it going to be a premium company worth $90 a share, or is he going to go low? And he's going to set this one at $90 a share. And I'm just off camera getting some stuff set up. And the track rights, by the way, are $10. So I do have to make change. And SFR is being set up with $170. So we're going to grab SFR. Get the tokens out. Put this here. And there he goes. Okay. Oh, and then we gotta figure this out. SFR. There we go. SFR. So there's a big cluster of premium companies there. Okay, now we gotta do 9 and then 10. 9 is Mr. Wellington. Mr. Wellington has a miner. One miner, it's the L miner, and there's one spot in the game that is just amazing to start L at, and guess what he's going to do? He's going to do that. He's going to start L, and the track rates in Britain are $40, so he's going to spend $40, get $10 back, and I'll show you where it's going to go. He's going to start L in Edinburgh. and then that gives him a track right in Britain. So one of the 2 track rights for Britain are now consumed. And then we come over here and grab the L and put it on. Okay, number 10 is the last. And this one, amazingly, is Mr. Medici again. So Medici is going to start for $1.30 a share. So 50, 70. Oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to think and do math and talk at the same time, and I screwed up all of it. All right, so he's starting SFAI. Big surprise there. He's doing it at $60 a share is what I meant to say. So it's just going to be a $120 company. So the track rights in Italy is only $10. So he's going to pay $10 to the bank. And I was delayed because I had to make change for him. But he started that one cheap. Now you might be wondering why. Since he's all about stock value, he has this company, which whenever he goes major, he can change the value of this company from $60 to $90 before it goes major. So basically he can just bump it up the stock track. So he's going to buy shares of this at $60 a share and then use these shenanigans to get instant money. So that's the value of this BB&B company. So SFAI is going to start for 110, and we got to get a marker on it to make sure nobody loses it. All right, so let's grab SFAI. And SFAI is, of course, Northern Italy here. Italy companies are actually very good companies. So the Medici strategy is very valid if you want to try it. The whole investing in others instead of, I mean, if you want to just take the 2 Italy companies and then take something like Plum or something in France, I mean, you don't have to invest in other companies like Medici's trying to do. But if you just want to take the 2 Italian companies and run with them, that's a very, very solid strategy. Okay, so we're at the 10. We're done with the concessions. And so these are all 2 trains that are just going to go into the 2 train pile. So now we're going into regular turn order. So believe it or not, it's Medici again. So he gets to go one more time, and he has a ton of money. He's already started 2 majors, and if we look over here, Medici is the dark blue chip, and you can see he has that A company there. So we're going to get this A company going, and we got to just figure out where. We can put the A company right here in Italy, and he can sort of like become an Italian, rock star. Another nice thing he could try to do is go over in France, because having an A company in France is very beneficial. And in fact, that's exactly what he's going to do. So we're going to take the A token here, and we're going to put it in Marseille. And then you have to grab this. It's a $20 track right. So I'm reaching off camera and taking $20 away from the A company. And then we'll go over here and find the A company and put it on like so. Okay, so next is player 2, which is Troikovsky. He can still start one more major. There is one more major in Russia, but instead he's going to start one of his minors. If you recall, he has 3 of them. So he has a G minor, which lays 2 extra track, and then he has a B minor, which lets him do track upgrades for free as long as it's not in a city. and an E miner, which lets him lay swamp for free. So if we look over here, you can see there's a lot of swampland there, and there's swamp here. So this is a perfect place for E miner. The G miner needs to just be somewhere, because if he's somewhere here, then he gets to lay 2 extra track points. And a great spot for him is Kharkov. Now, the other thing is he can put a miner up in Norway to help support MSP, because if you remember, MSP has a port here, and this port can come in through this C zone right here. See that port? There's a double whistle stop, and if there's a miner that starts here, it can lay the double whistle stop and then connect to there. And then basically you can do a 2 train from here through a double whistle stop to there and make mega bucks from the very start of the game. So it does behoove him to have a miner in Sweden, Norway. However, if he does, then that means he should take DSJ, which is still available in Sweden, Norway, and DSJ is an amazing company. So the plot thickens, I guess. So what he's going to do, though, is he's concerned about Russian miners being taken. So he's going to start the E company right here in Sevastopol, and that'll go there. Now, why do that when DSJ or something's available? You got to bear in mind that somebody else can come in and start a miner there, and that could ruin his plans. So he's basically playing a defensive game here. And so the E company will pay $10 in track rights, and he'll take one of the 2 spots. Okay, so next up is player 3, which is Lord Wellington. So Lord Wellington placed his miner, his one and only miner, and give me a second. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to start his 3rd company. And bear with me one second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I think, so here's what's weird. DSJ is actually available, and that's an amazing company. The other thing he can do is he can start GSWR, which is a 3rd British company, and then they could basically become a national. And I think he did that the last time we played, and it worked out very well for him. British nationals pay really good money. And then he can use that British national, of course, to help lay track and all that stuff. So then, you know, he's basically going all in on Britain. DSJ is available, and DSJ really should be taken by now. He cannot afford to have 3 premium companies. So that's where this becomes tough. So he's going to, I believe he's going to start GSWR so he can have a national in Britain from the start. He's basically grooming it to be a national. So GSWR is going to start, and he's going to take, he has 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, he has $150. 150. So that means he can start it at $75 a share, and so that's what he's going to do. He's going to start GSWR at $75 a share, GSWR being the Irish company. And so we'll get that set up and get a Wellington token out for him. All right, so let's grab it. I just remembered there's a $40 track right. So 10, 20, 30, 40 is being taken out. So Wellington definitely paid a premium to get the premiums, but this really will work to his huge advantage when that becomes a national. If he can somehow figure out how to do an OE run with them, that's even better, but that's super hard. That's one of the reasons why this strategy is a little weak. But when I say weak, I mean just weaker than other options. But with his AI strategy, that is thematically perfect for what he wants to do. So we're going to come over here, grab GSWR, put it down, and GSWR is going to start, and he's going to be at $75 a share. Okay. All right, next is whatever player. Was he player 3? Yes. So next is De Gaulle. Ooh. So De Gaulle has 2 minors, 3 minors, and 1 major so far. Now, if you recall last time, De Gaulle took Chin and Plum because he wanted to do an OE run with both of them. And he tried to invest evenly in both, and he failed to do either on time. So he has to be careful. But that doesn't mean that Chin's a bad choice. So he's actually taking Chin because Chin is actually an excellent choice, especially for his strategy. It's a perfect choice for his strategy. So he's taking Chin. He has a lot of money. So he's going to do... What should he do? He's going to make it a premium, 180. So Chin is going to start at 180 as well. And bear with me, I just have to make some change off camera here. So 50, 75, 80. That. And then the track rights are $10. So he's going to pay some track rights and get change again. So one more. All right, so with track rights, he's going to have 150, 60, 170 in the company. And yes, he will start Chin. So off camera here. Okay, so Chin is in Spain there, and we're going to come over here. Chin is an excellent company, so he did very well to get Chin. Okay, so I know I said I wouldn't have to get up, and as you can see, these companies are creeping further up the table, but the idea is those miners are going to close eventually, so everything will be able to scooch down. So I may have to get up a few more times. But I still like the system so far. So coming back, I also realized BHB is not going to sit here. BHB is our company. So I'm going to hopefully not spill it while I'm holding a camera. And we're going to put it in front of us. Okay? So that'll make room over there for the other players. So now De Gaulle went, and now it's Trump's turn. And I honestly don't know what to do with Trump. I mean, he wants to make deals with Russia. He wants New York first. So the problem with New York first is Wellington took all the British companies before Trump could even go. So Trump's next choice is to... it's an obvious choice. He's taking RCP. Because RCP is Portugal, and it's very close to New York City. So we're going to take RCP, and that'll be the Trump choice. He could take DSJ, which would do deals with Russia, right? But I think we're going to do this. The RCP thing lines up with his America strategy. So let's try to go with that theme over the Russia theme. The Russia theme I added just for a joke. And Tchaikovsky took most of Russia anyways, so I'm not sure how valuable it would be for him to try to meddle over there. The DSJ thing is a solid company, but guess what we're going to probably take? Okay, so RCP is up, and he's starting. Oh, I got to figure out what he's starting it for. I think he's going to go premium. Let me go look at his math, and we might have to change our mind. Didn't really think through the Trump strategy all that much. Okay, I'm going to put the camera down. This is Trump's money. He probably wants to start 3 companies. If he does a premium, that'll be 180. If that was another premium, he would have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That's $80 right there. So there's 180, right? That would be 2 premiums, and then this would not be enough for a third. Actually, it would, because there'd be $20 left over for here. That would be 120. He could start the third for $60 a share. So he can start 2 of them at full price, and the third one for a low price. That's not too bad. Okay, so we're gonna do 180 for him, and then the track rights are only $10, so this is gonna go to the bank. And let me, before I forget, put this money back on Trump's thing. And I got to give this money to RCP, which is right there. Okay. All right, so Trump's turn is over. Now it's to us. And I will be honest with you, I was going to take both Austria and Hungary. I was going to take SB, which is there, and MAV, which is there. I was going to take both of them because that fits my strategy. But DSJ is available. And as crazy as it sounds, DSJ is just an amazing company. Now, I don't have a lot of money to start these companies. They're going to start at $65 a share, whatever ones I do start. But I think I should take it. Because DSJ is a good company. So I'm going to do that. I can't let a good company just sit there for so long. And that's another part of this game, is sometimes opportunity just comes and you have to change your strategy. So I'm going to go with DSJ. And I'm going to take it for 130, which has a $10 track rate. So 120 is going to go on the company. And I don't need to keep these red tokens. All right, so now it's just a matter of grabbing our pieces and tokens and all that jazz. DSJ is right here. And it starts amazingly right next to BHB. And if we come over here, there's DSJ. And DSJ will go for $65 a share. Okay, so now it's back to Medici. Medici has started everything he's going to start, and he passes. He doesn't want to start anything else. So he's going to pass. Next is Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky still has 2 more miners, and enough money for a major. So he's going to go for the second minor, which is G, and he's going to do the Kharkov thing that I was telling you about. He's going to put G in Kharkov, and that takes the last of the Russian track rights. And always remember, you have to pay the track rights. So he will do that. So Tchaikovsky's done. Next is Lord Wellington. Lord Wellington has started all of his minors. He actually has $0 to his name. Lord Wellington is done, so he's passing. You cannot buy shares of other people's stock until all the companies have floated. And what does that mean? That means that everything has to be on the board. So Medici and Wellington are basically an auto pass right now. Medici has enough money to start another company. He just doesn't want to. Wellington does not have enough money to do anything. So he has to pass because he has no choice. He basically has started 4 companies, 3 regionals and 1 minor. Okay, now we get to de Gaulle. De Gaulle does have money. He already owns 2 major companies. He still has 1, 2, 3 minors. De Gaulle has a lot of work to do. He can start another company still, and that's what he's considering. And yes, he will start Bell, because Bell is a fantastic French company and it's available. So we're going to grab Bell and give that to Mr. de Gaulle. Oh, instead of passing, they could have picked a company that would be canceled or removed from the game. So let's back up. Medici would get to remove a company. So which company would Medici remove? Given his strategy, he wants to invest in others. What would interfere with him? To be quite honest, he would remove Plum if he could, but Plum's already there. So what he's going to do is he's going... I think Medici wants to do runs up through Paris. So he's going to want to remove OU from the game. So OU is out. Now, what's interesting is Wellington probably would have removed Bell. I just agreed that I'm going to buy Bell with de Gaulle. And Wellington did go first, but who would Wellington remove? That's a tough question. To be quite honest, both players, Medici and Wellington, don't care who gets removed. So we're just going to pass with both of them. You could remove somebody, you don't have to. So Bell's up. He's taking, de Gaulle's up. He's taking Bell. And we have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. What would that work into? That's 140, that's 160. So he can do $80 a share at 160. So that's what he's going to do. He'll keep $10. And then the Bell company, I already put up there, has a $20 track rate. So we'll pay $20 to the bank and put 160 on the company. And de Gaulle is the white poker chip. So we're going to give him a white poker chip, put 160 on, and take Bell and put it on. Okay, so there's Bell. And we're going to come over here, and Bell's going to go on, and then Bell will be at $80 a share, like so. Okay, after de Gaulle is Trump. Trump is America first, so I can already tell you from over here, he is taking MIDI, which is an odd company. It's one of the Kickstarter expansions, but MIDI has this unique thing where his seaport is only 1 zone away from New York. So MIDI is a good America first thing. You can make MIDI work. MIDI is also extremely difficult to play. It starts in a crap city, and Paris is crap. So you have to be mindful of that. but Trump likes bucking the system. Okay, so it is a $20 track right. We'll take care of that later. We're going to get MIDI out, and I'm going to assume that MIDI is this other premium company. So we'll put it up there in the premium zone, and get back. Yes, Trump has $200. Going to make some change here. 50, 75, 80, and then 20 for him. And then he's got a $20 track right, so we're going to pay that. So MIDI's going to start with $150, $65. Hold on, how does that? 150, 65. You should only have 160. All right, so I'm going to do that and put the Trump token on MIDI. Okay, so next up is us again. We already have 2 of our majors, and we still have 2 minors we can place. And I'm going to take SB. That one is one of our Austria-Hungary companies. So I'm going to take SB, and we're going to start it for 65 a share again. So that's 130 bucks. The track rates are $20. So I'm going to put in 25 and get 5 back. And we're going to grab the SB tokens. And SB starts here. And there and there, like so. Okay, I wish we had more money. I would love to start MAV, but the DSJ was just too good to pass up. Okay, so now we're back to Medici, who passes. We are to Tchaikovsky, who has yet one more minor, and he's going to start it. Tchaikovsky's last minor is the B company, and this is the one that lets you do upgrades. He's going to put it in Norway and do the exact strategy we talked about. So he's going to put it in Stockholm there. Or no, he's going to start in Norrköping because he gets cash. So that was a brilliant move, actually. So we'll go here, we'll pay the $10, and he's good to go there. So, oh, don't want to forget this. Next, Wellington passes. De Gaulle is up. De Gaulle has no money, but he still has minors. He actually has 3 minors he needs to start. He has the C company, the M company, and the J company. So these are all interesting companies for him. And so France still has the room for one more minor. So he is going to start his C company in Lille, France, which is up near the English Channel. So he's going to go start up there in Lille, France, and that takes this away. And the C company has to pay $20 in track rights. Okay, so refresher on the rules. There are, for Prussia, France, and Britain, there are 6 track rights tokens. And if any 4 of them are gone, the other 2 automatically disappear. So as you can see, there's 1 left in Britain, and there's 2 in Prussia. If somebody were to buy just 1 of those 3, the other 2 go away. Okay, so that's very important. And so if you're a player playing this game, and you wanted to go into one of those 2 countries, you better make your move now, because it's shrinking. It's going away fast. Okay, so that's the thing to keep in mind. And the France ones almost always go, because they're the cheap track rights. The other 2 have $40 track rights. They're very expensive to start in. Okay, so de Gaulle is done, and now we go to Trump. Trump has enough money to start another company, a $60 company, so it's not the best company in the world, but he can start it. And he has some interesting choices. He can be the antagonist and piss off Tchaikovsky and take the fourth Russian company, which is WW, Warsaw. That's actually not a bad idea. The other thing he can do is take OU in France, because it just more possible runs to America, although I don't think it's going to behoove him to do it. He can also take MZA, because, I mean, he is playing a game, and having two companies in Spain is actually a nice, powerful thing to do. And MZA does have a nice token here he can get some quick money for. It's also set up to do a good OE run. It's a great company, let's just put it that way. So he is going to buy MZA for $60 a share, and we'll put a Trump token on this. And the track rights for this is $10, so he will pay $10 to the bank. And MZA is starting. Just grabbing a token. And MZA starts there. Now, one thing we got to bear in mind, 6 companies are not going to start in every game. And that's what's cool about 18OE is you're never going to have the same company start every time. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you see, I mean, it doesn't matter which one, but there's only one more major that can start. 6 of them are not going to start. And so if it were those 6 and somebody starts this one, then, and as you know, Tchaikovsky's sitting on the money to start the last one. So we're going to not have like we had the first playthrough. All the companies are going to float, and Medici is going to show you what he can do. So we're going to come over here. MZA is going on the board for $60 a share, like so. Okay, so a lot of miners still need to start, apparently, because I see a lot of empty spots over there. Okay, so we go back to Medici, pass. We go to, who's player 2? Tchaikovsky. He still has a lot of work to do. Scooby-Doo. He's starting the last major for 120, and he has some choices. He has the Russia. This pub thing is very attractive. Because what's crazy is only one company in Germany started. That is insane, folks. Kibbles and Bits almost always starts. But he's going to do Russia because that's his theme. So, sorry, I just spilled something. Okay, so WW has track rates of $10. So we're going to put that in, and let's grab one of his tokens, put it on, and WW is the last of the companies, so the rest are out of the game. And we're going to go ahead and put a token on, and WW is going to go there, and there. Now what's really interesting is I wanted to start MAV, and MAV ended up never even starting at all. So Austria-Hungary is a little more open than I thought, and I'm the only one in Prussia. I didn't do that on purpose, folks. I mean, I did thematically make people pick Russia because that was their goal. I mean, that part I did on purpose, but if I would have picked WW instead of Lizard for Tchaikovsky, I would have picked POB and let Lizard go. So remember back when he had to make a choice between WW and Lizard, and I picked Lizard? If I would have picked WW for Tchaikovsky, and then we got to this situation in the game where there's only one more company left to start, and nobody else went into Prussia, I would have taken POB for him. every day and twice on Sundays, Pub would have been a better choice than Lizard, even with his Russia strategy. So it's just how it works out. Very interesting to see it play out like this. This is bizarre, to be quite honest. All right, so we have a lot of $90 companies and a lot of $60 companies. Now that a lot of $60 companies is necessary to float everything when people were so money hungry like they were. The $90 companies, being so many of them, also makes sense that you're going to have a lot of $60 companies because if everybody's spending all their money for a premium, they're going to not have much left for the non-premium. So, okay, so we have our landscape in place, but let's keep going. I just want to see what miners are left. So Wellington is done. So we can see here if there's two miner tokens. So there's De Gaulle, Trump, De Gaulle, Trump, and then us. We have two. Okay, so De Gaulle and Trump and us are the only three that can take turns right now. We still cannot, Medici can't go yet and buy other shares or whatever until we're done placing and floating everything. So just going in the turn order then, De Gaulle's next. So we got to go here and just find one of De Gaulle's companies. He has two of them to choose from. And so he has a lot of interesting choices here. De Gaulle picked a Spanish company and a French company so far. He has a French miner already. He is going to actually start J in Italy because there's still Italy miners left. And he's going to start right here in Firenze, which is a nice Y city, so that's good revenue. And with these other two on either side, he's going to get a lot of track laying bonuses. Sometimes one of these will exist down here, and it would be really nice because sometimes there's one there, and it's nice to go here because then you can run into Naples, but there is not one there. So it's not as lucrative. One of his options was he could start here because look, that's $60. Actually, that's pretty nice. So he'd make $60 for starting there. And then of course he would go here and then connect to there, but then he's gonna sort of get stuck. And his runs are gonna be from here or from here to there. I mean, it actually could work. He can get $60 without having to spend the 30 here. Since this is a Y city, there's going to be a spot for two tokens, so he can actually put his second token there. But the problem he's going to run into is if SFAI puts its second token there, he's going to get token blocked. So he has to be mindful of that. That's a tough choice. This $60 is very lucrative. To get that at the start of the game, it's pretty sweet. Oh, and look, it has a port. So he can run from here to there at the start of the game, even if he is blocked. You know what? He's going to do it. He's going to put the J there. It's just too good to pass up. So he's going to start the J company. All right, so then we go to Trump. Trump still has two miners. And bear in mind, one of those miners lets him have extra seaport bonuses. So he can put it on a seaport and get extra movement from that. So like Amsterdam could work for him. But Amsterdam is a very expensive place to start. Although it would thematically fit with his family. He's already got a good spot in France. One of the things he can try to do is go to England. And I know England's already pretty cluttered as it is, but he could go there and get a seaport set up that would take him to New York. But you have to bear in mind that New York is not available until phase 3. Yeah. So in the early game, it's not available. So then the other option is where could he put it on a seaport and then just make instant money? Because, and one of them is right there in Russia, see? But the problem is that the Russian tokens are gone because Tchaikovsky was smart and he took them away. Rotterdam is another option, but you got to bear in mind, even though the token covers it up, Rotterdam has a $30 charge. So that bonus money you get just covers the charge of laying the track. So it's not as lucrative. Nantes, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in France, has a port that can go to America, but I don't know, it's not worth. Well, actually, there's no French miners available anyway, so skip that. I forgot to do the Italy thing. On the J Company, $10 track right. Italy is available. So is there a port here? Like, he could start here and there's a port there that he can take to somewhere. I don't know where. He can't go here. That's not an option. Russia's not an option. Norway is an option, but there's nowhere really to place it. So what we're looking at is Italy or Spain. He's already in Spain with 2 companies. I'm not saying it's best in this game to put all your stuff in the same country. Only Russia can you get away with that and still win. It's good to be, especially with your miners, to be somewhere else, because when your miners merge with the majors, now your majors are somewhere else. So that part's nice. So that's why I think he wants to put a miner over here. And he'll do that. He's going to put K, the K miner, right there in Friends France, or Friends Italy. And it's $10. So done. Okay, now it's to us, and we have 2 miners. We have a D and an F miner. And the D miner is, just to refresh you, I can put this on placed in any city on the map except a metropolis or red zone. But I can put it on one of those Y cities, you know, the Y zone, which is a very lucrative zone. So I can put it on a Y zone, but not on a metropolis. Now, the rules are a little ambiguous, but we've determined through Board Game Geek questions, etc., that these starting zones for regional companies are available to us if all of the regionals have floated and the other 6 are out of the game. So now that we know this is out of the game, we allow ourselves to put a miner there. That is a rule that we play by, and I'm pretty sure it's kosher. KBS is an amazing spot. It is expensive to start in there, but it is, in my opinion, a fantastic spot. And so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to put, ooh, no. KBS is a great spot. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put D right here on MAV, because MAV is an even more attractive. There's 2 track rights here that are available. I can't afford to pass that up because somebody else might take that. So D is going to start there, and then he can double the Y City bonus, which is really good. Or not double, but you know what I mean. Okay, so now we go back to De Gaulle. De Gaulle has 1 more miner left. It's the M miner, and Italy is out, but Spain is in. And I think De Gaulle and Trump are both going to look at Spain. It is possible they could try to do Prussia. Not as attractive to do Prussia. It costs $40 for track rights. Although he has Bell, De Gaulle does. So if he put 1 in Prussia, he can actually continue, you know, a nice track all the way to Berlin. I'm not sure how beneficial that is to him, but it is an option. And Spain is not looking super exciting, So I actually think for the M company, he's going to start where Kibbles and Bits would be. Right there. That is a $40 track ride, so he's not going to have $100, or he's, oh, hold on. He has to be able to afford a train, so that's $100. He can use his private money to support, but look, he owns no privates. So during the operating round, there's going to be no revenue. Now, he is going to get revenue from, no, he's not. He can't do it, folks, because he has to spend $40. So he's going to have to take $20 out of here and only have 80 bucks left. So that means he needs $20 of his own money. He only has 10. He's $10 short. So he can't actually go there. The track rates are too expensive for him. If he would have had a private company like White Cliffs Cliff Ferry, look, he gets $15 at the beginning of the operating round as revenue. If he would have gotten that revenue, then he would be fine, right? Because he'd have 15 more dollars and he'd actually have 25 bucks. But he has no companies to his name. That's the one thing De Gaulle did. I mean, so M cannot go there. So M has to go somewhere cheaper. It could go into Austria-Hungary. So he could, for example, try to go here. It's just that he doesn't have track laying rights here. So he could obviously go that way. It's not as exciting for him. I mean, obviously the Y city is a nice city, but that would work for me, but not for him as much. Italy would be perfect, but it's already taken. Russia's taken. Norway, there's that spot where BJV starts. I'm pointing to it with my finger. That one's doable. It might be better than Spain. Yeah, he's going to do that. He's going to put it here, where BJV would start. And that's a $10 track rate. All right, and then we go to Trump. Trump has one last company. That's this H company. And so, yeah, he will go likely in Spain. There's nowhere else that fits for him. I think he would have liked to have gone in France. You know what? Prussia might work for him. That H company in Prussia might be better. He has no money, but he's going to get $10, $20, and another 15. So he's going to get $20, $35, $45 in revenue. So he's going to be able to afford. So yeah, he's going to actually go in Prussia, and remember, he's the antagonist. He knows I want to go in Prussia with my miner, and he's going to say, F you. So that's what he's going to do. And this actually helps him. Now, he has a lot of really good choices. He can go into KBS, because it's just a great place to start. But remember, this is a company that gets C-zone bonuses. So he could put it up in Amsterdam or Rotterdam, because there are C-zone bonuses in those cities. And the problem with going there, though, of course, is that Amsterdam's like a $45 to lay track there. Now, the yellow track is already laid for him, so he doesn't have to pay that until later in the game. And Amsterdam also has a really nice feature. I don't know if you can see it from here, where he has 2 ports, and they're both available to him. Amsterdam, as far as this company being the H company is concerned, is the best place for this. Now, the best location is here. This is the best location available. You got a double whistle stop next to you. You got a really nice payout here, and you have a short jaunt to Berlin. Amsterdam is muddied because you have all these zones that cost money to lay track in. But as far as the H company is concerned, this is where H needs to be. So he will go there. It's going to be a $40 track lay, or track rights. So he has $80 in that miner. And that miner, of course, needs $100 to buy a train. So during train purchase phase, he's gonna have to pay $20 out of his personal money. That's not a problem. He's gonna make that much in revenue easily during the first operating round. So he's able to do what de Gaulle couldn't do. Now, he took this, right, track right, and in doing so, remember per the rules, this one goes away and the one in Britain goes away. And that's pretty standard. The Britain and Prussia track rights are, that $40 track right payment is very high. It's very hard to start miners in countries like that. We're the last ones, and we have the F company, and there's really only two places to go. We can go in Austria-Hungary or Spain. And I'm not going in Spain. Well, maybe I should. I was planning on going in Austria-Hungary and maybe starting here so I can have a port and then merge it into SB so SB can get an early OE run. And then we can like skip the mountains. That was what my thoughts were. I don't know if that's the right choice. The other thing we can do is we can put F way over here, so because F has the ability to get a discount for mountains. The problem is that, yeah, I can put it there, and yes, he gets a discount for mountains, but first of all, he doesn't have a lot of money. And secondly, he's not going to make a lot of money in his runs. The third one is there is a Y city here, and that's just a really nice paying Y city. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it here in Praha, Czechoslovakia, and we'll start there, and we will take the last of the track rights, which is $20, and I'm going to pay that right now. And that's it. So these two track rights for Spain aren't going to be used, and those are the only ones in the game that weren't purchased. Now, it is extremely, extremely rare to play a game where Spain was the one that did not get any track miners. There's almost always miners in Spain, so this is a crazy game. But I wouldn't have it any other way, and I forgot the whole time we were talking to fill this out. So after J, who owns J? That's de Gaulle. So that means Trump would be next. So that means K would have started, and then our D would have started. I never put C out. Oh crap. C was done a long time ago. That was de Gaulle. SB is us, MIDI is Trump, Bell is de Gaulle. Chin is de Gaulle? Yes. That's Wellington. E is... Sorry folks, I have to figure out where C is in this turn order. E is Tchaikovsky. A is Medici. SFAI is also Medici. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to show you here. This is the 10th spot. So then Medici went, then Tchaikovsky, Wellington, de Gaulle, Trump, us. G, who's G? Tchaikovsky, de Gaulle, Trump, us. Tchaikovsky, that's Trump. So right there it is. That would be de Gaulle, Trump, us, or no, Trump, Tchaikovsky. How come we're not in there? That's us. Tchaikovsky. J is de Gaulle, Trump. We were dead last, so somehow or another something got missed. H and M. So it's de Gaulle trump us. This is de Gaulle trump, and I would swear us. That's how it went. But the part that I'm confused about is this is Tchaikovsky. Okay, Tchaikovsky, de Gaulle trump us. Yeah, that makes sense. This is Trump. Where's us? Did we skip our turn? I think we did. I think we skipped our turn. So I'm going to put F further up. Right there. And just call it a day. Actually, D would have been further up and then F. So then Trump would have gone last. Okay? And at the end of the day, folks, this is not going to make that much of a difference. But I am trying to at least be accurate here. I apologize. I forgot to put things on. I was so busy blasting through the turns. But I know for a fact that this one is us. So SB is us. And then, you know, I'm just going through turn order. And the turn order went in perfect order. So right here is Trump. So that means we needed to go after Trump. And that was what I was missing. I had us further down. And so instead of us going last, I have us going, you know, here. And so now that means then that when Trump took Prussia, we actually had an opportunity to take Prussia from Trump. So that part is where it does matter. Because if we skipped our turn, after Trump took MZA, which is here, we did D, okay? Which was the MZA, or which was the MAV location. Then that's Tchaikovsky, that's de Gaulle, and see Trump again. That's the K company, which he took, which was in Italy, okay? We go after Trump, right? So what I did was I did this one, then this one, and then us last. So he took Prussia. Technically speaking, we can take Prussia because H hasn't gone yet. Now that is a wonderful spot for H, but Trump's not my friend, at least not in this game. And that kibbles and bits spot's a wonderful spot for F. Might even be more wonderful than this. But I'm going to leave it, and here's why. F gets a discount on mountains, and this is a mountain spot right here that he can plow through to get to there, and that would allow SB to have access to Berlin. But let me think about this some more. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take Kibbles and Bits spot, and I'm going to force Trump to go somewhere else. So I'm going to pay another $20 because I owed $40 now instead of $20 in track rides. So F is going to have to spend $20 more. I'm going to give $20 back to Trump's H company. I'm taking the Prussia away from the H company. And then Trump is to decide, is he going to take Austria-Hungary or is he going to go Spain? And he's going to go Spain, folks. That's not a real choice for him. So he's going to come over here and take something in Spain. And he can do Malaga here, which has a port. He can do Sevilla, which wouldn't cost him any money. And there is a port there. We also said that since there's an empty spot here, he can actually go right here in RCP, next to RCP. So we're going to do that. So he's going to just start another one in Portugal. So that's it. We're done. Sorry about that last minute confusion. And so what I'm going to do off camera. First of all, I have to get my kids dinner, which I know is not important to any of you. But I'm going to be gone for a while. But I have some work to do. So the first thing I have to do is see every one of these little containers. I have to get all their tokens out and lay them on all the boards. And I have to do it for every player. I'll do some double checking on math if I run into any issues. But then we're going to be ready to start operating around, or I'm sorry, we're not done with the stock round. There's more stock round that needs to be done. Starting with Medici, he now gets to buy some shares. So actually, let's do that. I know we're at 1:30. Let's do it now so I don't forget. Medici is the only one with money, by the way. I'm out of money. Everybody is out of money. Medici has a ton of money. And so what Medici is going to do is he's going to buy shares. And he has $60 shares of one company and $80 shares of the other. Or I'm sorry, $90 shares of the other. So he's going to spend $180 for 2 shares of. So that's his change, right? He's going to spend $180 and get 2 shares of his SFR company, which is the $90 a share company. All right, so he starts with the president's share, and then he's going to get that, which is a 25% share, and then there's another 25% share here. So he's going to own 100% of SFR. And then the other one is a $60 company. So he's going to spend $120, and that's going to go towards a $60 company. Now I got to make change for this. All right, so this is going to go on to SFR. So I'll put it on there. And then this goes on to his other company, which is SFAI. And let me grab those. Okay, so SFAI, if you flip it over, there's a president's share, and then 25% share, and another 25% share. So this $120 goes on to SFAI. He has bought all the shares he can buy. Now they can choose to go major. I'm realizing that I need to decide if we're gonna, okay, we have to go in turn order. So my apologies, folks. This is what he wants to do. And what we'll do is I'm gonna end the call, or end the call. I think I'm at work. I'm going to end the video, and the last player to go was Trump. So Medici's gonna go first, and he's gonna buy some shares, and but he can only buy 1 share at a time, and we're gonna go in turn order. And the reason we have to go in turn order is some of our other players, even though they have no money, they may wanna go major with their companies. So this is, I'm just gonna set it here on the board. This is Da Vinci's money. As you can see, I already have it set up. He's gonna buy 2 shares of his company here. He's gonna buy 2 shares. He's gonna own 100% of both companies before we even start the game. And I'm gonna show you some amazeballs stuff with Medici that we didn't get to do the first playthrough because I screwed it up and didn't, the math just didn't work out. Now you're gonna see Medici shine. And also, you will see that Medici has money left over, and he's gonna start buying shares of other people's stuff. Maybe Mr. Wellington, because Mr. Wellington, he knows, is gonna have high-valued stock. So stay tuned. We will do that. I'm going to get these uploading to YouTube, and we're gonna take care of some family stuff, and I will see you later this evening. Thank you for watching. Stay awesome. Sorry for that last-minute confusion, and I'm very excited. We're gonna get this going. Oh yeah, and like I said, we'll get all these tokens out. I will do that all off camera. So thank you.